What is this shit? All right. So, listen, man, we just got back from a big weekend of golf. We also had opening weekend in the MLB, and we're going to talk about all these things. We're going to talk about NBA playoffs.
Yeah, we got a lot going on right now in sports. It's actually a good time of the year.
Yeah, the big thing that's different is the NBA playoffs are starting before the NHL playoffs. Typically, the NHL playoffs start a week or two before the NBA, but this year they're going first.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And there's a play-in tournament starting first for the NBA. Let's get right to that. It's different. They started it in the bubble a couple of years ago. They let it rock. I don't agree with it really to let 12 teams still be alive, but it is fun for the fans.
What's the play-in do? Explain to me the play-in.
All right, so tomorrow we got the 7 and 8 matchups from both conferences. We got the Nets playing Cleveland. Cleveland is at Brooklyn. They're getting 8 points. And then the Clippers are playing the Timberwolves. And basically, whoever wins that game is the 7th seed in their conference. The loser still alive. Now, Wednesday night, you'll have the Hawks facing the Hornets in the East. And then in the West, I think it's Thursday night. They didn't do them the same night for some reason.
Let me see. This kind of sounds like a double. So the play-in is double elimination?
No, they're both Wednesday night. So basically, if you're a 7 or 8 seed, you win, you're in. If you lose, you still have to win another game. So you have 2 chances. You got to win twice to get in. But if you are not, and you are a 10 or a 9 seed, the Pelicans, Spurs, Hornets versus the Hawks, you have to win both games. So you got to win that game, and then the loser of Cavs, Nets, and Clippers, T-Wolves, then you have to play them. So that's the way it works. Two wins and you're in. The Nets are playing with fire here because I think it's better for them to play the Boston Celtics instead of the Miami Heat. If I was them, I would want to play the Boston Celtics.
Why?
I just think without Robert Williams, the Celtics, Robert Williams was such a big addition for them this year. Not addition, but like he bloomed into the defensive player of the year this year and really was the catalyst for why they were a top defensive team. Without him, they're not going to be able to stop Brooklyn. I understand they got Brown, they got Tatum, but when it comes down to the playoffs,
what did they win by 30 last night? Didn't they beat Minnesota? What happened there? How did they beat Memphis by 30?
Who beat Memphis by 30?
Didn't the Celtics beat Memphis by 30 yesterday?
I'm going to be honest with you. For the last 2 weeks, I haven't cared about the NBA. The last 2 weeks of the NBA, when most of the seeds are already, I don't like watching NBA. There's a lot of, bad play. Now I'm locked in. Playoff time, I'm ready to roll. I'm interested to see how the Nets do because they shouldn't even be in the play-in tournament. They were one of the favorites to win it all. They're in the play-in tournament, but they are getting healthy. They are a team that you have to worry about with KD and Kyrie on the floor. And but the Cavs are no joke. They had one hell of a year. They got guys that used to be on Brooklyn before they traded away for all this super team. They have Jared Allen in center coming back. They got Caris LeVert who could score. And I like this Cavs team. Kevin Love has had a good year. Garland.
Cleveland. It's Cleveland.
They're going to win the game. Nets are going to win the game. I'm just saying.
Cleveland.
8 points. I'm telling you on the betting line, I'm taking the 8 points with Cleveland. I don't care what anybody says. That's too many points for a team that doesn't play defense. Brooklyn does not play defense. That's my worry with them going into a deep run. But on the other side, I mean, that's a good game. Clippers, T-Wolves is a good game. You got the Timberwolves are one of my sleeper teams who have the talent to make noise.
What makes it a good game?
Oh, the Paul George back angle. I like the Clippers. They're deep. They're fun. Reggie Jackson, Norman Powell. I do like Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves to win that game, though. I really do. A lot of people like the Clippers because they're supposedly going to maybe get Kawhi back for a run. I don't know how true that is.
But listen, are all the guys that were supposedly a little dinged up or hurt at the end of the season, are they all miraculously now healed?
Denver, we were getting rumors Denver was going to get back their guys, which would make a big difference. Jamal Murray, Porter Jr. I'm hearing they're not coming back for the playoff run. Ben Simmons is now ramping up. He's supposed to be coming back. But did you see Stephen A's rant today? Oh my God, it was hilarious.
Dude, first of all, listen to that guy's year. Won't take a layup, gets abused, says he has mental disorder, whatever he says. sits around, gains 50 pounds, isn't sure if he can play his mortgage or his 8 cars, and he's like, I'm playing chicken with my 8 cars. He gets traded. Now all of a sudden he's got a back dislocate. He's got
Then he wanted his money back that he wasn't paid, and now he has a back issue. And Stephen A. Smith was going crazy on him. He was calling him a coward. He was calling him, we need answers to why you have a back problem now all of a sudden. Like, and I totally agree with him. So I don't know what the Ben Simmons effect's going to have. But listen, at the end of the day, if he comes in and plays, the good defense that we're known for him for playing, and he could, contributes in other ways besides scoring, they obviously don't need him to score.
Listen, I'd make a difference. He might start crying in the middle of the court. He might, if he misses a shot and they boo him, he might start crying in the middle of the court.
He's a mental midget. I think right now he's a mental midget. He has to prove me otherwise.
He is the antithesis of, I would say, don't come near the gym. Listen, we're going to figure out a way to buy out your contract. I don't want you near the gym. It's an interesting thing.
If you're the Brooklyn Nets, if you're Kevin Durant, if you're Kyrie, if you're Steve Nash even, do you want to throw Ben Simmons in the mix now?
No.
When the stakes are now high and who knows how it's going to affect?
Kevin Durant is a little soft also. I don't know if he's soft. He takes everything personally. Anything, and it really bothers him, and he kind of holds a grudge. I don't know that I would want those two around each. I mean, literally, if I'm Kyrie Irving, is that who he's playing with right now? Kyrie Irving, right? So you got a weird dude in Kyrie Irving who likes to instigate problems. He likes to get under people's skin and see how they react. He always has. And you've got two guys that don't react well to negative criticism. And Kevin Durant does not react well.
I mean, it's a true thing. I mean, he always runs to Twitter. He's very big in the Twitter with the fans and all that. I don't agree with him doing that, but he is who he is. It is actually kind of funny. Sometimes they're hilarious, the tweets. But yeah, when it comes down to it, though, KD and Kyrie both know what time it is, and you know what they can do on the court.
Here's what we should do.
So at the end of the day,
we should get sport hitters. Maybe we'll call Michael Rappaport. We'll say, Michael, can you do us a favor? If we buy you a ticket to this game and put you in the front row, can you go talk some shit to these guys in the middle of the game? I want to see how these guys react.
I doubt Michael Rappaport would be down to do that, but I definitely would love to see a heckler in the front row.
We'll get you a bulletproof vest, Michael. You don't have to worry. You go sit in the front row.
Oh my God!
Man. That would be a fiasco.
That's the funny thing about the Nets. There's such an I don't know, the attention that you have to pay to this team on this run. It's going to be great to watch how this ends, because it could end in a championship or it could just end in a clown show. Like a lot of people are thinking it's going to end. You know where I stand as far as the NBA. No one's beating Phoenix. I stand by it. Chris Paul's about to get his ring, Hall of Fame guy. Love the Phoenix team. They went to the finals last year. They learned a lot. I saw the drive in them this year. I saw crunch time games. Bro, in crunch time, they don't lose. If the game's close tight, they don't lose. If it's late,
they went the opposite direction. They went the opposite direction of what most people. When most people lose a championship game, they get what they call that hangover, where they come back the next year, and sometimes they don't even make the playoffs the next year. A lot of times, whether it's the Super Bowl, whether it's the NBA Finals, a lot of times when they lose in that game, it affects them for a whole year. This team
came back hungrier. They got hungrier.
Yeah, this team.
And look, a funny stat, because they the franchise leading season of wins, they broke the record. Chris Paul now has 3 franchises season of most wins. He has the Hornets, he has the Clippers, and he has the Suns now. That's a pretty good stat for a leader.
Cleveland got on the board though. My goodness.
I got the over 4.5 first 5. Over 4.5 first 5.
They just had bases loaded with nobody out in their double play. They got to run home though.
Only one? Don't like that.
Cleveland's up 1-0. I got Kansas City in this game.
It's going to be a lot of runs in that game.
So anyway, so that starts tomorrow night, yeah?
Yeah. So we got 2 games tomorrow. The 7-8 game, whoever wins is in. Loser waits for the winners of the other games, which are Wednesday night. So it should be fun to see how this plays out.
So in tomorrow's show, we're going to have we'll have brackets for opening night. We'll have brackets and we'll do some props and stuff for opening night.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, all right. So listen, more big news from this weekend. We can go either way with this.
Start with the Masters. The
Masters recap.
Scotty Scheffler, historic run. 4 out of 6 tournaments he won. He's now won his first major. He's just piping hot, and he deserves everything. He's incredible.
Yeah, and I think so. I got two things to say about it. Number one, for him to have the day that he had in the problems that when everybody else shot like 3 over, and he had like a 5 under or a 6 under, whatever he had that
Friday
day,
night. Yeah,
might have been one of the best rounds of golf in the history of golf.
Everyone was struggling. Everyone,
based on what everybody else did,
made in the lead more and more worse.
Yeah, I think he was up by 5 straight. He was minus
up
8
5 after Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that to me was 2-0 Cleveland. So
listen, how many people can you say could double bogey 18 and still win by 3 strokes?
Well, double bogey 18 and laugh and look at it
and everyone laughed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, everybody laughed.
That was incredible.
So, my problem is this. As you know, I was on a heater yesterday watching this, and I still have got I haven't been able to get clarification on why they gave him relief on hole number 3. His tee shot, and it went so far left. It was, what's his name was left too.
Cam Smith. It was Cam one Smith of the 2 holes that dictated yesterday. Three
so Cam
started
Smith
with 3.
Went left. Scheffler went even further left, and when he hit it, the announcer even said, "I've never seen anybody hit it that far left here." For some reason, he was in the middle of trees. He had no shot, and I think there may have been in front of the trees. There may have been a scoreboard in front of all the trees. There's like 30 trees between him and the scoreboard and the green. They gave him relief. They didn't just give him, they gave him like 3 club lengths. All of a sudden, he's in a clearing looking straight at the green. Now, he chunked it, and it rolled back down, and Cam Smith chunked it, and it rolled right back down. My point is this. He should – I still would like to know why he got relief. And if he's going to get relief, why are you letting him get relief out into the middle of a clearing when he's behind a bunch of trees?
I haven't heard it yet. I haven't heard the explanation. Let me see if I can find any explanation for why he got relief.
I thought – I was on a heater. I'm like, why – what did he just get? It was a gift. It was a gift that nobody's talking about. And everybody says, yeah, well, he just – listen, he was on a downfall. He was struggling. He was struggling with his game. Cam Smith, at that point, I thought was going to take the lead because Cam Smith had at least a shot onto the green. He had no shot onto the green until he got that relief. Once he got that relief, he had a straight shot at the green. And he came up a little short and it rolled down the hill. But why he got that, I don't know. And nobody talked about it. No one did. And I still have no idea why he got relief.
I'm looking at it now, but I don't see anything about the 3rd hole. This is talk about another hole he had.
It's the 3rd hole, and it was such a big thing. And it was
something
like
about unplayable ball relief in the Masters. There's a rule about an unplayable.
You shouldn't be able to go from behind trees to a clearing to where you have a straight shot at the green. You should not be able to improve your shot that way. And literally, he had no shot, and then he had a shot, and nobody talked about it. So
he had another incident on the 18th when he double bogeyed. He also got relief to pull out of the woods onto the chips.
I wasn't rooting against him. I played Cam Smith to win the final round, and I'll be honest with you, Cam Smith imploded after that.
From 12 on, he imploded because he made it a great birdie the hole before that to really make it interesting down 3. And he chunked the par 3 12th right into the drink. Yeah. From there on out, every shot was awful, right? He imploded mentally from there.
And at the same time, so let me ask you this: what do you think about McIlroy now? Why does McIlroy play
Sunday for McIlroy? What did he shoot 8 under?
Why is that? So why is it that McIlroy can continue to show how great he is when it doesn't matter?
But not do it for 4 days at the Masters?
When it matters, he plays great when he thinks he's out of contention.
Yeah. It's true. He always ends up coming back into the top 10, top 5 late, but is never really believed to be a contender. And that's his problem. He needs to start off with that.
Do you remember the Masters when he had the lead in like day 3 or day 4, and he literally shot 6 or 7 over on the 18th on the back 9.
Yeah, Spieth, memorable collapses in the Masters.
There's something about that now.
But I do think he's gonna get one before it's all said and done. He's still in his prime. I think he could get one.
You know what the crazy thing is? I was watching that yesterday. As I was watching it, I'm like, are we a generation past McIlroy already? Are we in the generation?
I've thought that
after
many
McIlroy?
times. I've thought that many times in the past year. I really have.
I mean, if you take your guy, if you take Yips, you take Scheffler, You take all the, Morikawa, these guys that are 20 to 25.
Yeah.
McIlroy's an old man at what, 30, 33, 34?
Yeah.
He's an old man.
He was doing this with where they're at in their career 8-9 years ago. He's at the port where he, like a Fowler, like a Bubba Watson, where you just start to just be good, not actually contend every tournament, and I think that's where Rory's starting to be. But hey, listen, yesterday was great shot. That 18th hole with him and Morikawa chipping him in, that was incredible. Great reactions. Listen, I don't know when Scottie Scheffler is going to lose another tournament. That's how it looks right now.
You saw who's favored in the PGA. Rahm's favored over him in the
again.
PGA.
I mean, what's with Rahm?
Yeah,
struggling.
Well, here's the
constantly.
reason. So listen, the Masters has always been a left to right course predominantly, but that's why Mickelson did well there. Bubba does well there. Guys that play left to right, and most right-handed swingers play right to left. Right? They play a fade. I'm sorry, a draw. They play a draw. Scheffler is better at a fade than he is a draw.
It is weird from the right.
And
from
so
the right side.
But Rahm is better at a draw than he is a fade. I think going into the PGA Championship,
the course fits him better. The course fits him better.
The course is going to fit him better. That is why. So when I didn't know a lot about Scheffler. The only thing I knew about was his caddy. And let me tell you something. This all goes in line. He fired that caddy in November. This is a brand new caddy at the beginning of the year that he's doing all this.
There's definitely something about the new caddy that's got working for him. Absolutely. Yeah. And I also realized
what's wrong Genius cap again. Should I put the Genius cap back on again? I'd say stay away from Scheffler after the guy flopped around like a beached whale out there on the 13th hole. His caddy was flopping around on the ground like a beached whale, man. He should never have had that caddy out there.
And he never won with him. He got rid of him. And look, he's 4-time champion, 1-time major. Yeah, and it's just getting started. He's 25 years old. He has a great career.
Yeah, and he's no fluke. He was this good before. I'll tell you what, though. Do you remember the other guy that was really good? I forget his name. We brought it up in the Phoenix Open. Scheffler won the Phoenix Open. Do you remember when we talked about the Phoenix Open and the guy that was tearing it up was like the guy from Pepperdine? He might have been Iraqi or Israeli. He wasn't Israeli.
Lahiri?
What is it?
No. Lahiri or
Lahiri, that might have been him. Was he the guy that crushed it? That was doing really good for the Phoenix Open most of the time? Remember we talked about it, and he was the golfer of the year in college in COVID.
Oh no, that's the Gala. The Gala.
Okay,
that was the Gala.
The Gala. So that's another guy that we got to watch because that guy was no joke. That was not a fluke. He has been this good as a young
Lahiri
guy.
was the guy competing at the Players with Cam Smith, who almost gave it away on the last hole. That was Lahiri. But yeah, the Gala, he's a very big stud. He's got a lot of good future in golf. I think Zalatoris is the guy we got to really start zoning in here. He's having the year Scheffler had last year, like right before he gets that win. And
I need
to
to make some putts on 17 and 18.
Man, take 2 career Masters appearances, your top 5 in both. It's not bad for a young kid.
Need to see him make some putts.
Yeah.
Need to see him make some putts. Until he makes putts, I can't trust him until he makes some putts. Listen, the rest of I thought on Friday or Saturday, early in the morning on Saturday, I thought Justin Thomas might come back and
me too. Had a
run.
Crazy day 3. Day 3. But the thing is, notice about Justin Thomas, he's always in trouble. Like he's great from the second shot on, but that tee shot is erratic for him. He needs to consistently hit the fairway, and then he will be fine. But he's constantly
complaining because of his size.
Yeah,
for a guy as small as he is,
yeah, I think he does.
He swings. Wow, they just threw him out of second. Caught stealing for the Royals. So who else? Dustin Johnson started to make a run, and then he faded.
Sanjay Im had a good Masters. He faded.
23, 24?
Yeah, he's young. He was definitely Corey Connors right now. He's a guy that's constantly been in the top 10 lately. Corey Connors.
We are literally. Oh, he's safe. We're already.
They're overturning it.
They should review it. So listen, we are looking at another generation already. Like the Ricky Fowler. I think his time has passed. I don't think he's going to win a major. I don't think he's going to win a major.
I don't think he'll ever get back to that level.
Spieth, Fowler.
Spieth is still right in the heart. Bryson is still right in the heart. Cantley. You got Xander, who shit the bed in the Masters, but still a great golfer.
So did you see the release today by the Saudi League saying they have 2 former number 1 signed to start in June? 2 former USPGA golfers are signed for them to start in June. No. They didn't say who they are. They just said they're former number 1 PGA Tour professionals. They didn't say if they're in their 50s, 40s, 30s, or 20s. but I find it interesting. Let's see what Phil Mickelson does with the PGA if he defends it.
Yeah.
Because that's coming up next month, right? We're 4 weeks away from that, and I want to see if he defends that title. Tiger has already, he's safe. Tiger has already committed to the U.S. Open, which there's a good chance that we're going to that in Brookline.
Yeah.
For a little tour of.
Hey, listen, Tiger got
Boston.
belief that he could play golf again. That's the thing. It's easy to talk about. It's easy to do all the the work and the rehab and get back, but to actually go out there and actually be respectable for 3 out of the 4 rounds, because yesterday he fell apart.
Well, listen, he was
the
limping.
Bet was for him to make the
limping.
cut. That was the bet plus money. He made the cut. But yeah, to ask and expect him to contend and win was just fool's gold.
Well, not only that, he's 45,
45, and he just went through one of the craziest, injuries for a professional athlete. Like,
we're 2 generations deep right now past him.
Yeah, and he's
you
still
have the McIlroy generation, and now we're at the Zalatoris and the 20,
and
these
Scheffler.
new guys. Safe at second.
Right now, Scheffler's the guy, and there's no debate. No one will say any. If you ask anyone on the street who watches golf right now, who's the best golfer on the planet, they have to say Scotty Scheffler right now. And it's not an overreaction. It really
what the crazy thing is that he putted better than everybody else this weekend outside of the 18th hole. It just seems like he made every putt.
He's such.
It seems like he made every putt. And on that 3rd hole where the ball went in, if that doesn't go in, he's looking at 10 or 12 foot putt.
That thing was going flying past it, exactly. And then if Cam Smith answered right there with what he did, not to even make it, but just to make it close, that hole changed the round, and then obviously the 12th hole changed. Because what if it was Scotty in the drink, and then Cam, that hole right there was the final decision. I knew he won right at that hole. The 12th hole was it.
Yeah,
the Masters ended on the 12th hole.
And I think Cam Smith knew it then too. I think
so
at
too.
that point
He threw his club at the ground. He knew right there that he lost the Masters.
And the one thing I'll say about it is Scheffler stepped on his neck when he had the chance. He made that up and down. He chipped up from where he was.
As great of a putter Scheffler is, his ground game around the green just to get good shots on the approach from bad, from the rough and from the bunker, incredible. Top of the line. Loved it. Wow. But hey, listen, it wasn't as competitive as we like on the Masters. But hey, listen, a young star got a green jacket that he very, very much deserves. And because let's say he somehow collapsed yesterday, it's hard to think when he would ever win a Masters going forward, because when you're right there, you have to grab it. And I'm glad for the kid. He did. Let's see what he does now. Let's see if he goes out and wins the next tournament too, because that'll show. That's the next challenge. Let's see if he can win another one.
So listen, the MLB started this week. What was your thoughts? What's your take after the first weekend?
Listen, I don't have much of a take. You know what I mean? It's still too early for me to have a take, but I did 2 things that popped out to me. Number 1, the Mets. They made me very happy from what I saw from them in the first 4. I know it's the Nationals. I know it's only 4 games, but even just having a new manager, Buck Showalter.
Was there a real brawl? I thought I saw something about a bench.
Listen, every single game of the series, they hit one of our guys above the neck. So there was
in the head.
Alonso got hit, and the piece on his helmet saved him. Lindor got hit right in the head, and then yesterday they hit somebody. I forget who. I think Marte. But yeah, they were throwing at us the whole. I don't know intentional or not. I don't know if it was intentional or not. But yeah, every game our guy got hit. But just the pitching, man, to know our 3 and 4 studs pitched like 2 and 3s, like McGill went out there, lights out to open the season. Then we have our new acquisition who led the AL in ERA last year, and Chris Bassett looked incredible. 6 innings, 7 Ks. And then Scherzer, he started out a little shaky. He settled down. He struck out 6 and looked good. If we ever get DeGrom back to just natural his ability, DeGrom, no injuries, no nothing. We get DeGrom back, the Mets will win the World Series this year. Their pitching is that good. Or even our
bases juiced. Bases loaded for KC right now, bottom of the first.
How many
outs? Down 2, bases loaded. Either 1 or none.
Okay, let's go.
1 or none.
Let's go. Knock them in.
So listen, the more and more I look at the Mariners lineup, the more and more I like their lineup.
Do you agree with the Mets? They look good. It's early, but they look good. The new additions, Marte and Canna, Mark Canna, the guy we got from Oakland.
They're going to be better. They're going to have a chance to be really good, because I think the Braves are going to be really bad. Okay, so now you got the Marlins and the Braves, and I think the Braves are going to be really bad.
And I think the Marlins lineup is better than people give it credit for. Their pitching is still far ways away, but their lineup's not bad, the Marlins.
It's not bad, but, Jeter quitting says a lot about the
he quit
direction
because
of
the
team.
whole Players Association and the MLBs, he didn't like the way that was always going, and because he's a former player. He's the only owner GM that's a former player.
I think it had to do with he wanted Castellanos. So I saw an article that he wanted to get Castellanos, and they wouldn't work the money over for Castellanos, and he really wanted to pay Castellanos and build the rest of the team around Castellanos.
Yeah.
So
and then
2 days later, I think he went to the Phillies, right?
Yep. He had a homer this weekend.
So listen, the Phillies to me are still the same. Oh, he had another batter. So the Phillies have the same problem they had last year. Their bullpen.
Their starting pitching and their offense is awesome, but their bullpen is the kryptonite.
Is horrendous.
I agree.
And they need to go out and get a seventh inning guy and a closer. They need that guy. They need those two guys, and then I think of the front line.
Yeah, I thought the Mets bullpen impressed me, and they don't even have Diaz back yet. He's still dealing with a death in the family. He hasn't been back yet, but I mean, listen, Lugo is top notch. We got May, we got Ottavino.
So the weird thing about Buck Showalter is he typically in the past has been known as a guy that doesn't get along with veterans. He's good at bringing people up and disciplining them, but when he deals with veterans, he's a disciplinarian. He likes old school disciplinarian baseball, and that typically doesn't go over good with veterans. He's a guy that typically sees good talent. He gets people disciplined, and then the team gets a little bit better when he leaves because he gets this model and he formulates everybody into it. He puts the squeeze on them, and they play pretty good, but then he leaves and they get a little more freedom, but he's built this model that does well. So I don't know how he's
as a Met fan, just looking at him on the bench and just seeing his presence, it just makes
at least he's not wearing he's not getting kicked out of the game and wearing a freaking mustache.
It just makes us look more respectable. Our last two, managers, Rojas and Mickey Callaway, were jokes. I liked Terry Collins a couple years ago that we had for a little while. I liked him, but the last two managers, and then we were going to have Beltran and then the whole thing with the Houston. You know what I mean? It's been a joke the last 3 years for managers in New York. And just looking at Showalter, hearing him in the post-game interviews and how he talks baseball, it's such a difference to have a leader like that on the sideline. So
didn't they sell the team this year? Isn't there a new owner in there?
New owner who likes to spend money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the Mets are in good hands right now. And I like them. And the other team that impressed me, and you know what? A lot of people were writing them off this year saying, you know what, they're done. Tampa Bay just goes about their business. That organization, it just shows me how different they are. With no money, they just throw arm after arm that get the job done, and they bring up a young stud or two at position player all the time. And they still got their guys from the World Series, Kiermaier, Lau. They got Choi. Wander Franco's a stud that they called up 2 years ago. The team is just going about their business. And I know it's just Baltimore that they just swept. But listen, every year the Yankees start off with Baltimore and they always lose early. Baltimore is a team that jumps up early and everyone believes. They literally didn't look like they were on the same field with a team. The Rays are going to be there in the end in the AL East. They're not going anywhere.
Royals left the bases loaded. He struck a guy out and the next guy popped up. Left the bases
They get
loaded.
one back?
No, 2-0. So, I looking at the American League right now, I'm going to be honest. I really like the Mariners team. I went through their lineup. I looked at it. Flexen, they got Flexen penciled in as their 3 or 4 starter. If he is their 3 or 4 starter, they've got a really good team because he's
pitching tonight.
He's pitching tonight. He's on the road though, right? They're on the road. So I didn't like that.
They're on the road against the Twins. Twins ain't got any. They're throwing Dylan Bundy out there. He's a gas can. I think Seattle should tee off on him.
So I don't know. I didn't have it's so hard in opening.
It's
weekend.
So hard to know who's pretending and who's real. A couple of things stood out for me. I think Toronto's lineup is going to be awesome all year. They were already down 7-0 in the opener. They came back and won. That lineup is dangerous. The Yankees, the thing that stood out for me with them is the Rizzo, Judge, and Stanton. That could be a force this year if they all stay healthy and swing like they did in the opening series. Red Sox didn't look really that dangerous to me, but again, it's only 3 games. I'm not going to take too much into it. It's too early right now. We got Mets, Phillies tonight. I'm excited for that. See where we stand early on with them.
Well, the Sox didn't. So Trevor Story didn't play, and I thought the Red Sox. So Here's the thing about what I believe in baseball, and this is the truth, and it comes down to April. You see low batting averages. It's
Yeah.
cold, especially after this year. After this year, when there was really abbreviated spring training, everybody's timing's good. Let's not forget, like Freeman, all these guys, Betts, they all started very slow last year. Their numbers were where they're supposed to be at the end of the year, which means they were hot in the second half.
Exactly.
We're going to see that again. So all these over-unders that you see for the games, the best plays are the unders for games.
Yes.
in
Did you
April.
see Saturday night? 11 games, 10 unders.
Was it really?
Yeah. The only game that went
No.
over was Cubs. It went over 9-0. It was 7.5
Yeah.
or 8. But this guy at a local sports book, he bet all the unders in the night session and won $50,000 off $100.
Yeah, chumps take overs in April because we can't get off of the lineup.
Chumps.
Can't get off the lineups. So anybody, you have to take unders. It's a hard thing to do, but the hitting isn't there in April. Not only is it cold in some places, but their timing is.
I mean, there's
there.
spots
The
for
hitter's timing
overs.
is
Like
there.
when you get the
Listen.
fourth starter of teams where both teams give up runs. Like today, the Royals Cleveland game, I took the over first 5 and the game because both average 4 or 5 ERAs against each other's lineups respectively. So there's certain spots, but for the most part, you're right. That's where the runs are tough to get.
Yeah, you got and so getting to what we were just talking about, like the Freddie Freeman, the Mookie Betts. Listen, the Dodgers are going to explode in middle of May. From
Dodgers
middle of May on,
the Dodgers,
they're going to win. They might
They lost
win
2 out of 3 to Colorado, or 3 out of 4. What?
Yeah, but that's normal. Listen, Colorado last year was one of the best values of all ever. Every week that Colorado was at home, look at their home and away last year.
That's why I kind of wanted to fade them tonight. I wanted to fade them tonight.
Home records in baseball last year. They're on the road. They have one of the best home records in baseball. Senza Zanella had like a 2-run differential last year at home against on the road.
It's always that way. It's always that way. They're always the road differential is crazy for everybody on the Rockies, and that's why I want to fade them tonight. I like taking Texas in their home opener. I like Texas tonight.
Listen, I just stay off the overs, everybody.
I do have a lock today, though. I do have a lock today, and it's starting in 20 minutes. So if anyone wants to jump on, it's the Milwaukee Brewers run line. I think they smashed the Orioles today. It's a huge mismatch on paper everywhere in that game. Brewers had a bad opening series against the Cubs. It's a big game for them. I think they get it done. Hauser's going to shut down the Orioles, and that lineup's going to tee off on Zimmerman. I love the Brewers today, and their bullpen is ready and rested. So.
I have to take a look at that one. So I'll take a look at it when we're
done. They're 1-2, the Brewers against the Cubs. They were supposed to sweep the Cubs. I think that Baltimore is just going to be they're still terrible.
Here we go again, though, with Yadier Molina and the St. Louis Cardinals. Here we go again. It's the same old thing. You look at the team, you're like, what do they got? Nothing.
No, Arenado's raping right now. He's on fire to start the season.
They got Pujols. I mean, my goodness, they
have him, as a kind of last year retire kind of contract.
Yeah. I think that was probably in a deal someplace before that he was going to come back for a year. I don't think that just all of a sudden happened. But listen, at the end of the day, it's good to see baseball back.
It is.
It's interesting that in the Yankees-Red Sox game, Cora didn't challenge a play in which they called a double play against J.D. Martinez, and he should have challenged because J.D. Martinez was actually safe. It was a big point in the game. So I don't know what's going to happen this year with the instant replays. I don't know how angry I'm going to get with the home plate umpires calling things a foot outside and missing calls as much as they have. The one thing I will say is I keep hearing about something that's going to happen next year in baseball, and that is no shift. I don't know what that means. I don't know how they're going to.
It's not happening yet. It's not happening this year.
No, next year there's no shift, and I don't know how you police that. I don't know how. What do you do? Have a chalk outline on second base and say this guy can't go this?
You can't be out of position, I guess, on the field. You can't have
where's the
you can't have your
position,
shortstop playing on the right side of the bag. You can't have him shift over to the right side of the bag.
Okay, can he have 1 foot over the bag? Does he have to have 1 foot on this side of the bag? Can he touch the bag? That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you police it? Is it before the pitch? Is it after it crosses home plate? What I want to see.
Definitely before the pitch. You got to be fielded in your right position.
So if your pitcher goes into the windup, can you start to run towards that side in the middle of his windup?
That's getting crazy though with that.
Do you don't think it was crazy to have 5 outfielders or 3
I hate
2 outfielders?
David Ortiz would have 300 more hits if there was no shift.
Yeah. And so, so this is what I want to see that. And listen, they have to get rid of this thing, starting guys on. I don't understand why you want to keep starting guys on second base.
I know.
Is this players complaining?
They think it shortens the game. They think it somehow shortens the game. They don't want those 18-inning games where no one can manufacture a run. But I think that's not baseball. And all the savants hate it, but it is what it is. It's here. It's nothing we could do about it. It is what it is. It's whack.
Yeah, I think that's something.
I do like the universal DH. No one wants to see the pitcher struggle and be an automatic out constantly. I thought that should have happened years ago. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't want to see them running around the base. They can't run bases.
Right.
Half of them they pull their hamstrings running a base. So I don't want to see that yet. Cleveland is teeing off on Kansas City's pitcher. So anyway, what else is new? Anything going on in the NFL?
It's kind of leading up to the draft only really right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, why aren't we hearing about the draft? The draft's 3 weeks away. We're not hearing anything.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. It's kind of the period in the NFL where nothing's happening, but then they hit you with the draft, and then from there on out, we hear a lot of stuff. I just want the Vikings to get this pick right. One of the
what about
quarterbacks.
Haskins? I mean, Haskins passing away.
Awful news.
I know. I'm still trying to figure out why it's a homicide investigation.
Supposedly he was crossing the street and a dump truck hit him. I thought at first when I heard the report,
that's a traffic accident. That's
not
a homicide.
I thought he got in a car accident. But I'm hearing the dump truck ran. He was walking on the highway. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. It's just sad. Young guy. Screw the football part of it. It's a human being, a young kid with a bright future. Rest in peace and prayers to his family. I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
Yeah, it's boy, is that the third or fourth player? Do you remember a receiver for the Dolphins hit a guy walking down the street? It was a wide receiver.
Dante Stallworth?
Yeah, remember he was drunk though at the time, and he kind of got off on it.
I don't know if he was on the Dolphins or whatever. That doesn't matter where he was. Yeah, I remember.
He was in Miami. That was in Miami as well. And then I don't know if Antonio Brown or what was the receiver that kept getting in trouble? He got in trouble in the airport for running around. He was on synthetic marijuana. That was the guy that keeps getting suspended all the time. Who's the receiver?
Josh Gordon. Gordon. He's on the Chiefs now, but he's in Miami. He's not doing nothing.
Maybe you guys keep people out of Miami. So maybe that,
I can't wait for the draft though when we start covering that. That how we get.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have
great challenge. It's one of the best challenges in sport hitters. The NFL draft challenge. Can't wait for that.
Some interesting ones. We'll have some interesting ones. It should be a good time. So who do you got today?
Brewers, lock of the day.
All right. Well, I'm losing my pick of the day already, which is Kansas City. I'm on the Royals today.
It's early. It's early.
Down 2-rip. I didn't realize this guy could only throw 50 miles an hour and was throwing.
No, he has a 5 ERA. That's why he got a double play. He got out of it.
It's
early. It's early.
I'm looking at a bunch of Ephus pitches. Reminding me of this looks like Bernie throwing us batting practice last year.
Shout out Bernie Carbo.
Yeah, no kid. He's actually down in Florida too. Maybe we'll look him up and get him on the show when we go down there.
Sounds good.
All right. So listen. Let's prepare for tomorrow. NBA. We'll have some challenges.
Yeah, finally some competitive NBA basketball. Last couple months have been brutal getting to this point, but now it should be fun. So we'll definitely be covering the NBA going forward.
And I think we might have a guest on tomorrow. Just getting to prep some stuff, prepping some of the stuff that we're doing at the end of the month. So we'll do an NBA brackets tomorrow. We'll do a baseball brackets tomorrow. What do we got going on for golf this week? Is golf back?
I think they got the Heritage. I think it is this week. We'll see how many real golfers are in it. Usually they take the week off. So we'll cover that Wednesday. We'll attack and see what's going on with that.
All right, man. It's been fun again. It was a quick
Same
one.
time
Let's
tomorrow.
get ready. NBA playoffs tomorrow. Oh, real quick. NHL coming down the stretch. They got about 8 games left. Where your Islanders are out, but your Rangers are in?
Yeah, my Rangers are in. And I think they're a dangerous team with a Shesterkin. With a goalie like that, they have a shot.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I'll tell you right now, it's wide open. I could see so many teams winning. I didn't make my pick yet. Who's going to win it all? I'll make that pick before the playoff starts. But I got like 6 teams I'm looking at right now that can make a run. That's what makes the NHL playoffs this year awesome. So
awesome. All right. Well, let's be back tomorrow. Same time tomorrow.
Looking forward
Everyone else,
for it. Let's
have a
go.
good night.
All right, bud.